Moin moin and welcome to Ralfs Foto-Bude. After a lot of copter videos, today we have a new video of a new camera, and the camera comes from Olympus. Yes, I think 2 years ago Olympus presented the first Micro Four Third camera in this outfit. They have before the E-series cameras with the 4/3 system, and with the OMD E-M5 the Micro Four Third system starts in this layout with the electronic viewfinder. So the E-M5 was the first camera of this kind from Olympus. Today we have the follower of the E-M5, and as Canon and Sony, Olympus also uses the Mark II, so the new camera name is Olympus OMD E-M5 Mark II. So what's new on the Mark II? First of all, when you look at the camera, you will find on the back side that they have a new control monitor, and the good thing of the control monitor, it's not only turnable like this, but it's turnable like this, and you can turn the screen like this. So if you want to take movies and want to see yourself in the monitor, it's no problem. You can turn the monitor to the side, and so you will see the picture of yourself here on the monitor. And for sure, you can turn the monitor like this and then put it like this, so you have the control monitor. I like this one much more than the turnable, which goes only up and down, because there you can't make selfies, and for videos it's very interesting to make a selfie, so you don't have to put an external monitor on the camera and can control yourself. So I like the monitor very much, and it's still a touch screen, so you can set up the focus point by touching the screen. But again, not the menus. The menus are only working with the 4-way dial here on the right side of the back side of the camera. So there's no change. Next point, you know that the former model, the E-M5, has a stabilizer. It's a 2-way stabilizer, and the E-M1, the newest model of this line from OMD, has a 5-way stabilizer. And now comes the Mark II, also 5-way stabilizer, but a little bit more advanced. So this one is really an advanced stabilizer, and when you hold the camera and hold these two strap holder here and move the camera a little bit, and here you will hear that the sensor is movable on the plate, and so you will hear this, and that's the reason why the stabilizer is more advanced, has more weight and can stabilize much more. So the question is, why 5 dimension? The room has only 3 dimensions. Yes, it's very easy to explain. This is the camera. First way, left, right. Second way, up, down. Next way, turn in this axis. This was number 3. Next one, turn in this axis. This is number 4. And last one is turn in this axis. So this is number 5. So all these 5 axes are stabilized with the OMD Mark II, the new one. And for one reason this is very good, because, and that's my next point, they also have new video options. And so the camera is very suitable for videos, and it's very nice. You can hold the camera and just walk behind persons or beside persons, and the picture is very, very stable. It's not like a gimbal, like a professional gimbal like the Ronin from DJI, but yes, it works very fine. We had the presentation of the camera in Prague, and there we have some movie shootings, and I was running behind a guy in a long tunnel, and the picture, when I saw the movie finally, the picture was real stable and real nice. So even if it looked like I would have a gimbal in my hand, but no, it was only the camera in my hand, and so the stabilizer works very well also in these situations. it will not, it's not comparable to a professional gimbal, but still you can do movies walking beside a person and take a picture. It's a little bit kind of road movie, but much better in the quality than without a stabilizer. So this one I like very much. That's the stabilizer of the Mark II. It's a very, very good stabilizer and works very well for photography and for video shooting. So that's a really good thing. Next point, which is new, 40 megapixel picture. 40 megapixel, the camera has only 16 megapixel. Right, Micro Four Third, 16 megapixel as usual, but we can make a 40 megapixel picture. How this works? Very easy. You have to put the camera on a tripod and the camera makes 8 pictures in a row, and the sensor is shifting half pixel between each picture, and so you get 8 pictures, and the camera combines these 8 pictures to a 40 megapixel image. So the camera is on the tripod and the sensor after each picture moves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in each direction, half a pixel on the sensor, and so you get a 40 megapixel picture. Combine it if you combine this one. I'll show you later how you can go in the menu and how you can make up the setting for the 40 megapixel picture. I have seen the picture. I have done a lot of pictures in this mode, and I was amazed how detailed the pictures are. I have some samples here from the Prague tour, and I will show them also on the Flickr account. And this one is a real nice picture. It's from a propeller, and you will see every small piece of color here and every small crimples and stuff like this. So this is a real amazing quality which you get out of the 40 megapixel. And they had a still life here with this bottle, and there was a book, an open book, and you can see the fine letters here in the book. And so this is real amazing how detailed the pictures are in this 40 megapixel version. There is a limitation for sure. As I said before, the camera makes 8 pictures in a row, and so the problem is if you go to landscape and you make a picture and it's a windy day, it will not get sharp, because between each picture the leaves are moving, the grass is moving, everything is moving, and so if you combine the picture to one, it will not be sharp. But it's good for architecture. Also, if you have a day in landscape or out there when there's no wind and nothing is moving, then you also can take a 40 megapixel picture. Still life is perfect. Macro, if you don't go outside and you're in the wind, macro is perfect. And reproduction of art pieces, statues, pictures, oil paintings or stuff like this, where you need real high resolution, and you're in your studio, you have lightened up the picture perfectly, and then you can make a 40 megapixel for reproduction for a book or for a poster or stuff like this. And therefore, this 40 megapixel mode is very good, and you will get real nice pictures out of this. So as I said, everything which is moving fast, the 40 megapixel mode is not suitable, but everything which is still, which is static, therefore the mode is very good. But even if you are in a situation where only a few parts are moving, it can get a real nice picture, because you have the static parts which are real detailed, and you have other parts which are moving a little bit and which are a little bit blur, but it can be a real nice effect. So try out, maybe it looks very nice when you do shots like this. And the next point, these are the video function. Usually Olympus is not very deep into video. It's not like Panasonic with the GH4 or the G6. So Panasonic was a little bit more in photography than in video. But with the Mark II, this changed rapidly, because with the Mark II we see a lot of new video functions. We see different frame rates. It's very nice what you can get here. You have an external microphone jack, you have HDMI live output, so the camera is also good for copter flying because you will see the picture from the HDMI live output. That's a real nice feature, and with a 12mm lens in front of the Mark II we'll get real nice pictures. When you're on your way with your copter, you can make very nice videos. There's no remote control like for the Sony cameras by now, but I think it will come up very soon because you have a remote control for the Olympus, and so I think it's only a matter of time when there are some copter constructors who have small boxes where you can remote control the camera also from your remote control at the copter where you are standing. So next point, we have different settings for the bitrate. So we have the all intra mode and we have the normal AVC HD or movie mode, and in the all intra mode we go up to 77 megabits per second, and in the normal mode I have to make a small look here because I can't remember it. I have the camera just got today. 52 megabits per second in the highest mode, and then it goes down to actually 30 megabits per second and 18 megabits per second in the lowest setting. So these are the different settings you make. Talking about quality, that's a big question. What's better, all intra or it's AVC HD? So it depends. All intra, you have every picture not scaled down, but every picture is compressed. Each and every picture in the movie is compressed. And if you go to the AVC HD, you have a keyframe, and the next pictures you only get the information which part of the pictures are moving, and so you have each like 4 or 5 pictures, you have a keyframe, and then you have the next frames which only shows the part which is moving, then again a keyframe. All intra means frame, frame, frame. Every single frame is compressed, and so you have real single frames. And the quality there are different. There are different opinions. Some of them say, okay, all intra is better, and some of them say, no, AVC HD with a high data rate is better. So try out yourself. The advantage of all intra, it's maybe a little bit easier for the post-production because you have these single frames, and it may be a little bit more fluid when you work in programs like Premiere or Final Cut Pro. But as I said, try it. You have both options, and that's very good. You have the all intra option and you have the AVC HD option with a real high data rate of 52 megabits per second. That's very good. That's very good compared to the XAVCS format of the Sony cameras. You're a little bit higher than this format, and so I like this one very much. As I said before, we have the microphone jack. If you want to put on an ear head and an earphone, yes, you can do, but you have to put the extra grip under the camera. If you use the extra grip, you also have an earphone jack, and so you can use your earphones. The good thing, the microphone jack, you can use stuff like this, like the LS100. You put this one here on the flash, and then you use your cable from the outside here, from the earphone jack to the microphone jack, and so you can get the real nice quality of the LS100, and you can decide by yourself. You can take the sound here in the camera with 48 kilohertz and I think 16-bit, I'm not quite sure, 16-bit, or you can go to a quality like this one, 96 kilohertz with 24-bit. So you can decide. take the voice here or take it with this one, and then you have to combine both in the post-production, the sound from here and the video from here. But today that's not a real big thing. You have no problems to synchronize both, so that's very easy. And it's really nice you have this option here for the Mark II. So these are the 4 most important points. There are some small things which are coming up or which are in the camera. First of all, I want to show you how to make up the setting of the 40 megapixel picture. I changed the menu to German, from German to English, sorry. That's a little bit easier. So here we are in the English menu, and now you press the menu button and go to the second setting here, and here you have the high resolution shot, and that's the point where we go. Very important, bracketing, HDR, multi-exposure, keystone compensation, everything has to stay on off, otherwise you won't get the high resolution shot. Here we are, and you can select at what time the exposure should start when you after you press the shutter release. The reason is very simple. The camera is on the tripod, you have the scene you want to take, and if you don't have a cable release or if you don't work with the smartphone, I will show you later how this works, you have to be sure that the camera is absolute stable on the tripod and nothing is shaking. So that's a good idea to set up 2 seconds. So when you press the shutter release, after 2 seconds the exposure start. And so that's the reason why you can set up a different time here. I would suggest 2 seconds is perfect. If you've done so, go out of the menu, press the button, and then you will see at this point here, that's the multi-exposure 40 megapixel. You can select this one very easy. Just go to the point here. Sorry, wrong direction. Here we are. And then you see here in the row, this one is the multi-exposure 40 megapixel. You see this is single. Here are the different sequential. And then we have the self-timer, and the last point in this row, that's the high-res shot. And how the high-res shot works? Very easy. One important thing to get the best picture quality, you should set the ISO to low. So go into the menu and then go here to the ISO setting and go to the low ISO setting, so you get the best picture quality, less noise, and that's very important. Now when you make the picture, you will see that the camera makes 8 pictures. When I press the button, it takes 2 seconds. Now 2 seconds are over, and now we have the pictures, and the camera combines these pictures to one picture. This is blurry for sure, but that's the way it works. You will get plug-in for Photoshop and for Lightroom, so you can use these 8 pictures to combine them to one together. Also, after you have done the shooting here in the camera, so you have 2 options, option 1 in the camera and option 2 in the post-production. At this point now, you have the combination here in the camera, and it's a JPEG file, so it's not a RAW file. But as I said, there will come a plug-in for the future to change this. Next point, what I mentioned, that's the video function. There I will show you the most important settings. So we turn the camera here to the video function, and when we are in the video function, the camera change to the 16:9 format, and then we can make the different settings. Just press the OK button, and here we are. We have the ISO setting, we have the different autofocus setting. We have the different program modes, PASM. So yes, you can make the individual setting of shutter time and aperture. That's no problem. And most important, here we are with the different settings of the camera. So let's start. We have some settings which are which you can make by yourself, 4 different settings which you can call directly here, and you can make the individual setting just by going, this is number 1, this is number 2. You see we have the super fine, we have the fine, we have the normal, and this one is where you can make up the setting individual without going into the menu. Just press the info button, go to the first point, and you see we have the compression bitrate. And as I said before, all intra, superfine, fine, and normal. I go to the superfine. Then we have the different frame rates starting 24, then 25, 30, 50, and 60. You don't have to change between NTSC and PAL because the camera offers in every setting the whole frame rate. So we have the complete range of frame rates from 24 up to 60p, so you don't have to change in the menu between PAL and NTSC. You have the whole setting here, also in every format. Next point here is the clip recording time. So if you want to make a diary or stuff like this, you can set it up to 8 seconds, 4 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, or off. If you put it to off, the duration of the video is as long as you start and stop the video. Next point, goes away. Next point here is the slow and fast motion. If you're on 60p, no chance to make slow or fast motion. You have to go down at least to 30p, but I go down to 24p, and then you will see this is the slow motion, 0.4. Next speed is 0.48, 0.8, 0.96. That's standard. And then you have the fast motion, 1.6, 2 times, and 3 times. So these are the different settings. One important thing, if you go up here in the frame rate, you will see that the setting of the slow-mo goes down to 0.42. Next one, if you go up to 30, then you will see that we have only 0.5. So it changes depending on the frame rate. One important thing is, if you are here in the all intra, you have no options for slow or fast motion. In all intra, there's no options for slow-mo or fast movie. So these are the options here. One thing you will see that we have here some options in the screen. I will show you how you get this, and I will show you what they mean. So we go into the menu, and if we go to the menu, you know the individual settings here, or the custom menu, and in the custom menu you will find the point movie, and in the movie you have the different mode. You have the microphone, recording volume, volume limiter, wind noise reduction, plug-in power for the microphone, PCM recorder link, headphone volume, time code setting. You have different time code settings here. Then you have the info setting where you can decide what you want to see in the monitor. Movie specification settings, that's what I said before. You have 4 presets which you can make. And then you have the movie effects, and if you turn the movie effects to on like it is now, then you will see you have here different settings. First of all, there's a fader, and you can decide if you want from natural go to monotone, and then the camera fades when you start the movie from natural to monotone. Next point is the old film. You see when I'm in the old film, the camera is a little bit blurry and it's like pumping the edge of the video. So this is the old film mode. Next point is the, I don't know, it goes with, you see it's an effect, it's an echo effect, it's like an echo effect, and that's a multiple echo effect, so you see that it goes multiple. And if we are in the next point, that's the single echo effect. You see, oops, sorry, you see it only goes once and that's it. And here we have the magnification. You can go up with one button into the magnification and have an electronic zoom. So these are the settings which you can make in the movie mode. If you don't want it, it's very easy. Just turn them off. Movie effect off. And here we are. That's it. They are gone. So that's very easy to handle. I like the options of the different movie options very much, and I think this is a big step into the movie business for Olympus, because you know, they are in former times they were not real good in the movies, and they were not real good in the movie function. They had less settings, but now they have the whole package. They have HDMI out, so you can use an external monitor, you can use it on a copter, you have the microphone in, time code, you have different color settings, and so on and so on. You have all intra AVC HD with high megabit data rate, and so they have the whole package. And I think this is a real big step for Olympus into the video business. The only thing, yes, I know the only thing is we don't have 4K, but let's wait. Maybe there are coming up more cameras like the OMD E-M5 maybe, and maybe this camera will have 4K. So we are not at the end of our way with the Olympus video settings. So this was the monitor, the stabilizer, the 40K mode, and the video mode, or the 40 megapixel mode, and the video mode. Looking at the camera, you will see it's quite similar to the other cameras like the E-M10 or the E-M1. You have the program dial here, you have the different settings from P, A, S, M. You have the picture combination, you have the video mode, then you have the picture combination where you can set up different frames and combine pictures to one frame together. Then we have the scene mode with different settings, art filters, and the intelligent automatic. So this is very similar to the other Olympus OMD cameras. We have two dials, so if you're in the manual mode, I can show you, if you're in the manual mode, you have one dial for the aperture and one dial for the shutter speed, vice versa. You can set up by yourself. You have the different function buttons, function 1, 3, and 4. This one is HDR, and in my opinion, it's on the wrong position, because if you have fingers like me, very big, and you are here in the camera and use the shutter release and you're not very perfect in the situation, you will see my finger is just on the HDR button, and it sometimes happened that I switched on the HDR mode even if I don't wanted it, and so I'm in the HDR mode and wondered why the camera didn't do what I wanted. So my opinion, change this one to a function which is not too important, or which is not the HDR mode. So if you accidentally push the button, it's not so bad like the HDR mode. But again, here we have the different functions buttons. The dioptrine dial is here. Then we have the switch here to change between the different modes. You know, you can set up this also in the menu. You have the button to to save the exposure, menu info, forward button, OK button, trash, and replay. Though that's quite similar to the other OMD cameras, there are no big surprises. On the side, we have the SD card slot, one single SD card slot, and on the other side, if you go here to the other side, we have the microphone jack, we have the HDMI, and the USB AV combination at the bottom here of the camera. So these are the important connections to the video world. Let's have a short look in the menu, because you know the menu of the Olympus is very, very big. It's a very long menu, but I will give you a real short overlook of the settings you will have. We have the first two shooting menus here, which I explained to you before a little bit. Then we have the shooting menu 2 with a high-res shot. We have the replay, and then we have the most important, the custom menu. If you don't see the custom menu, you have to go here, menu display on, and then you will see the custom menu. So if we go into the custom menu, we have the different settings for AF mode, full-time AFL, AEL, AFL settings. You see we have there are so many settings, face priority, or the face recognition. Then we have the different buttons you can set up individually. You have all the buttons which you can set up individually. Oops, sorry. Dial functions, dial directions, lever function, as I said before, lever mode 1 and lever mode 2, optional grip functions, and so on. Different frame rates up to 11 frames per second. Image stabilizer. Here you can set up the different settings of the image stabilizer in the movie mode and in the photo mode. If you go to the photo mode, you can set up this in the photo mode too, but you have to go out of the 40 megapixel. Okay, so let's go out of the 40 megapixel mode, go to the single shooting, go into the menu, and then here we are on the image stabilizer for still picture, and here we have the different settings for the still picture. Okay, so, and it goes on and on and on and on, so we have lots of setting, video out, HDMI out, and so on. You see, there are so many settings at this camera. I think that for everything you will find a setting in the camera, and so it's very, very important that you learn to work with the OMD and learn to work all with these different settings and learn how to set them perfect. Because as you have seen, when you're in the 40 megapixel mode, you can change the image stabilizer and so on. So there are different points which exclusively work only in one situation, and if you switched on a certain point in the camera, it won't work. And so it's sometimes it's a hassle to find out why don't this point work, or why don't this work as I like it, and there is a setting which you did make before, and so you're not allowed to make the other settings. So it's a little bit complicated. You have to work with it. You have to learn how to work with the OMD. That's very important. One thing I have seen, and I want to mention, this is the bulb mode, and at the Mark II we have a new bulb mode, and this works. You have you set the camera on the tripod and you make a black picture, and in the black picture the camera sees, okay, these are the points which are black. This is my whole scene. And when you illuminate certain points in the picture, the camera only exposes these certain illuminated points, not again the whole picture, but only these points. How this looks like, that's the result. So we were in a big industry hall, and you make the first picture, and then after you've made the first picture, there were some guys with lights, with illuminations, with LEDs and stuff like this, and they did this. The exposure time was like, I would say 5 minutes, and all at the whole exposure time, the camera was working, but the exposure was only in this certain point where the light is. So you don't get an overexposed picture. Everything is real sharp. Everything is perfect fine. And so yeah, that's a real nice function for light painting and night shots. I like this very much, and so this is also new here in the Mark II compared to the old OMD E-M5. You have a lot of more settings. You have the art filters, you have everything, you have the scene programs, you can make individual settings, you have the slider here on the side if you're in specific programs. And so there's a lot more in this camera, and there are a lot more settings. You have the 3D level meter. That's also a very important point which comes with the camera, and you have for sure you have the touch shutter release, so you see it's activated, and when I press here the camera will, I think it's a little bit too close, now we are, and the camera makes the picture just by pressing on the screen. So you have everything in the camera which you need. If you want to know a little bit more, look my older videos about the OMD E-M10. There are some functions. I have some tutorials, and there you will see which functions are in this camera. One thing I will show you, and that's the mode when you use your smartphone, because they did some new stuff here in the camera, and I like it very much because now we have the complete control. We have almost the complete control in the camera, on the smartphone, and so that's very nice. I will give you a little bit more of the picture here, because it's nicer when you have not only my office here, but a little bit something on the screen. Now, first of all, we go to the menu and start the Wi-Fi function. The easiest way is just go to the replay here, and then we say connection to the smartphone, press OK, private connection. Then it takes a second for the connection. It's very easy. Just start your smartphone here, and then we go to the Wi-Fi connection, and you will see that we have here in the Wi-Fi connection is the E-M camera. They connect. When you do this the first time, you can read a QR code or type in the code of the camera. It depends what you like more. And then we go to the app. For the Olympus app, OE Share, start the Olympus app, and now the camera is connected. Now we go to the remote control, Fernbedienung in German, and here we are. Hope the picture comes. Yes, here we are. A little bit more sharpness. I can take a picture. Now here we are. Move the camera a little bit backwards and go back. And the good thing is now we have a lot of more options than we had in former apps. You see here on the top we have the art. If you press on the button here, you see you have the different exposure modes, E-Auto, PASM, art filter. You can go also in the movie function. You can go to P. You can go to everything you want. In former times this was not possible. You have to change the program here at the camera. Now it's very easy. You also can go to the manual mode, and so make the different settings here. If you go to the lower part of the app, you will see I have here the exposure time just by, just by pressing on the button here. You see we have the exposure time here, we have the aperture here, we can go to the different ISO setting, we can go to the white balance. So you have a lot of settings here in the app. You also can use this landscape mode. So you have a lot of options here in the app, and you have for sure the shutter release just pressing on the screen, underexposed, okay. But you have really a lot of options here, and that's what I like very much, because as I said in former times, there were only small possibilities in the app, and I think it was underperformed the app. But now, yes, we have a real good stuff. We have a real good app where you can make a lot of settings, and you almost can work with the app if you want to make macro, if you want to make still photography and stuff like this. So I like this one very much, and I think, no, you can't do this. I thought you would you could change to the 40 megapixel, but I think it don't work in this mode, so you have to make up the 40 megapixel here on the camera. But as I said before, real nice app, works fine, give you a lot of options here in the app to work with the OMD E-M5 Mark II, and that's also a big step from Olympus in the right direction. Okay, here you see the, by the way, oh sorry, here you see the on a QR code where you can just put the smartphone on and reads the QR code, and the camera and the smartphone is connected. Okay, so these are the most important settings, or some of the most important settings and options of the new Olympus OMD E-M5 Mark II. I think this is a real, it's not a new camera, but it's almost a new camera, because it's not only a small upgrade like usual. There are not only 2 functions more and 1 dial more. No, it's a real big update. It's a real big upgrade from the old E-M5 with all these new functions, 40 megapixel, new stabilizer, much better video functions, the turnable monitor, and all the other small all the small points which are a little bit better than the former model. So yes, nice work which Olympus does here with the Mark II. I think I will make another movie, not now and not in the next days, but I think I will make another movie where I can show you a little bit more and go a little bit more in depth of the different functions, because we have so many functions. As I said before, I have different videos here. There's a camera, we have the different autofocus settings, from autofocus single to continuous, different autofocus amount of autofocus points. Sorry, I'm overwhelmed from the functions of the camera. You have the different settings of the screen, and so on and so on. And okay, not mention the electronic viewfinder, which is a very, very high class electronic viewfinder. So you get a real nice package with the OMD E-M5 Mark II. So that's it for today. The new camera from Olympus, nice one. I think I will get this one under the copter and make some videos and look for the quality of the videos. I'm very interested in this, and so I think this is my next step in the next days. Thank you for watching me. I hope you enjoyed it and hope you get a little bit of an overview of the new camera. When you liked it, subscribe to my channel, give me a like, that's very good. If you want to support Ralfs Foto-Bude, buy over one of my Amazon links, that would be very nice, and support me. Thanks for watching me, see you again, and as always I say bye and moin moin.